What's happening, family? Welcome back to another episode with your boy, Chef Saint Eric. So, it's coming up on 4 years of the business, 4 years of living in New Orleans, 4 years of Jay and I being down here together. Like, it's time to really put up or shut up now. You know what I mean? I been sitting here for a couple of days looking at some analytics. And I thought, I need to have like a business meeting with myself. I might as well just talk it out, right? And hey, bring it along for the ride. Um, I got 4 years worth of analytics information, right? So now I can kind of really see, all right, what kind of business do I have? What am I doing? I got a lot of things that are coming, sitting in my lap right now. And it's like all of them are kind of like they're just in planning stages, talking stages, maybe a little action, some meetings here or there, some things going on, but nothing is like just been like solidified, permanent. Like this is the road to go down. And it's been very frustrating. Not gonna lie to you, man. It's been very, very, very frustrating because it's like all these opportunities are there and you can see so much with them. Like the light at the end of the tunnel, the road is like, man, that could really could be something. But then again, nothing ever materializes, man. Like nothing, man. I've had 4 or 5 meetings in the past couple of weeks about different things. People want to work with me. The Chefs Brigade resource, we doing some great stuff with some filming opportunities. One is for a documentary. One possibly could be for the NFL films for the Super Bowl coming up. You know what I mean? So it's like it's opportunities that's out there, but it's like, damn man, ain't nothing sticking, man. Ain't nothing sticking, man. But here's what it is, right? Let's keep on keeping on. But I wanted to have this meeting, um, just with myself, just with the finances, like, and just to really, like I said, the analytics to really see what's going on. And so the cool thing is I'm kind of hurt. I did a report where I had to like literally go in through and do a lot of manual labor on labeling things. So I'll talk about HoneyBook. I use HoneyBook as my CRM system, and HoneyBook is freaking amazing, man. Like it is a beautiful product. Um, I'm actually on the education team, so like I can actually earn money by posting about them, and people use my reference code. A couple of people have used my reference code, man, before, and I get $200 per. So hey, I'm at to really, I need to put that down as a form of income. I always forget about that. But HoneyBook, I got some notes here I'm writing down. Uh, at the same time, HoneyBook. What is it called? The education team. And his money come from that references. Yeah, so I'm having full out meeting, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope this doesn't get me like committed or something, talking out loud to myself. But hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But cool thing was, right? So I broke out this report. So how the report labeled everything for me was really cool. Because it gave me the first and last name of every, so this is based on every contract I believe that's ever been signed. um so it gives me first last name, the email, what I had the project name under. Project type was the real biggie for me. um Project source, so every person that comes to me, I always ask them how did they find me so I can know exactly what's going on. um Google, and Google um, is my biggest, how I get my clients, my biggest sources. Then next is, I believe, Thumbtack. And Thumbtack is what I use when I got started at first. But you gotta be very careful with Thumbtack because you are paying for these references, and with these references, um, can hit you for like $20 a pop, and you set how much you want them to put you out there. And so, what the great thing about that is you're on their SEO also. So since I've been on there for 4 years, I rank high and I have great reviews. So that puts you up at the top. And I've been like the number one on there for like, I'm probably not on there number one anymore because I'm not as active on Thumbtack. So I only keep like a real small balance on there. But that was my main source of income for probably like 1.5, 2 years of just getting things through Thumbtack. So I always had to make sure, and I just put it under my marketing budget. When you do your finances for your P&L, that's under straight marketing. So it's like, hey, marketing efforts, you are spending some money on it. So you got to be careful and you got to watch how much you're going to put on there. I tell everyone that, and everyone's come back, man, they be like, Thumbtack, man, they eating me up. It's like, yeah, you got to be careful. You gotta be very, very careful. And what I say is that the expenses part on it, if I get one, my prices are so high. Once I get one, I mean, it pays for probably a month's, probably if they're like $20, you probably can get, if you're aggressive on there, you can get up there in the hundreds, 300, 400, if you're aggressive. When I first started out, I was doing $250 a month. That's all I could afford, and you get one event, boom, that pays for it. Now if you get 2, 3 bookings, 4, 5 bookings, said I was living off that for 2 years or so. So I mean, like, you get enough bookings. I mean, you in there. Um, so what else is on the report? And then how much the contract was. Tips are on there also. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm actually see how much tips, because how much tips have I got? To it. So refunds on here. Gotta do refunds every once in a while. All right, cool. So that's electronic tips through write that down. So electronic tips that came through the actual system. So through the system with HoneyBook. Oh, let me go back to HoneyBook. HoneyBook is amazing. It's my CRM system. That's how I do everything. Um, when someone first creates a contact form on my website, boom, it goes straight into HoneyBook. HoneyBook already categorizes based on the questions that they have to fill out, right? And that is my barrier to entrance. So one of my business mentors, he told me like it has to be some type of barrier to entrance for your client if you feel that you are, the exclusive type service that you are, right? I got to make sure that you're real, right? You don't know how many times that I have communicated with clients on like a little timely basis, either through text message, phone calls, emails back and forth, no matter what conversation, like you're still putting in time and effort into that conversation to gain that client as for a client. Right. And they either like, they didn't have the money for the service. It just wasn't a good fit, like something, information like is slowly to get out. You try to ask as much questions as possible, but then again, it's like once you start getting to certain points, you gotta start talking about certain things, and then money is always a big factor into why people are going to book you or not, right? Do they feel that your service is worth it to them? And that goes into a lot of different factors. Maybe we'll talk about that another day. But so yeah, HoneyBook is system. Contact form goes straight into here. Source, I can see exactly everything that goes on. You can do your communication, so emails, all the different type of stuff. When I start adding employees, we can add employees on there so they can have a certain look that they may not be see every feature, especially like finances and things like that. But you can assign tasks to them, things they need to do. So this is really great. This is how I accept my payments, my contract, everything's electronic. It sends them contract, invoices, all that goes through. They actually are a partnership with a bank, so they have their own bank attached to another bank. And boom, it has all that. My finances, I can pull everything I need monthly because that is my small business bank. Like HoneyBook is amazing, right? So back to his report. So yeah, I've had $8,332 come through tips electronically, but that doesn't, count the chochos and the shamoney that they give you when you're there, baby. Ooh, that's the real stuff. That cash money, baby. That's the real one. All right. So for this is from June 2020 to June 24, and all the money that has come through Honeybook is $457,721.03. Now that does not count some other things I've done where that does not count like Team Class, because Team Class has their own. I just have to send them invoices, and they don't want it. They have to go through their email, so I have to like PDF file an invoice and send it through and stuff. So I have to go back and recalculate that money. Some work that I've done at Noki. I have to calculate that money in. So I would say probably add another 15 to 30. Because again, this is 4 years. So this is things, not everything's been tracked through there. So I would say maybe another 15, 35,000 add on to that in 4 years. So hey, hope I can add applause right here. You know what I'm saying? I When I looked at these numbers, I had to really kind of sit back and sit with it. Because from the business mind, from the perfectionist in me, not even say business mind, from the perfectionist in me, I'm like, we could have done so much more. I could have done so much. I say I could have done so much more. Uh, so much more. And again, this is not even with added in expenses and things like that. So this is just based on revenue numbers only that I'm looking at this. Um, so I went through and I broke everything down. So I have, so what I'm hurt by is because on the project source, on this report, how it pulled from the report is based on um, what I put in, or what the client put in right in the beginning to generalize the service. So it wasn't able to pull based on what I'm actually putting on the invoice, as in the service headline, which I really would have loved, could have made it easier. So it just pulled by the project type. So it's either like meal prep, in-home service, dinner. And dinner was the hard part because I've done everything from one course to chef's tables. And so you're talking uh one course, two course, three course, four course, five course, chef's table. And it was over how many dinners? So I went through and broke them down. So it was what? So 52, 27, 12, 7, 2, 1. So that's 3, 10, 22, 30, 40, 50. Over 100 services, right? That had to go through hand by hand and divvy each one out. And so I did that. I had graphs. I don't know. I'm so hurt. I guess that got deleted somehow. I broke it down. I had did the graphs. It was a beautiful report. I was proud of myself. Feel like I was back in the corporate life. I was proud of myself. Um, but then also, what I did was I input that report into ChatGPT. So let's pull up ChatGPT. I'm gonna go back to that conversation, right? So I just put these numbers in there, and where is it? Oh, understand spreadsheet. All right, here we go. So I said, act as a business coach. I own a private and personal chef company. Help me understand the spreadsheet. I input the spreadsheet. Let's see. And then it said, thanks for sharing the spreadsheet. Let's break this down. It said it appears to be a list of revenue sources for your private and personal chef company. Let's break down the categories and interpret what the data might suggest. So, and we went down each one, right? So it went down each one. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Because I want to talk about the numbers and just go back to this, how it made me feel. So the perfectionist in me, I could have done at least 500,000 in 4 years. Like if I would have said a goal early on, I would say that would have been it. Um, but again, after take a look at it, like 2020, I was sleeping on an air mattress in a friend's room. You know what I mean? Like whatever, everything I fit in my car, like that's all I that's all I had at the moment. It was very, very, very humble, very, very humble uh beginnings. Um I come from a hotel background. I come from being a hotel manager to interim VP, like of a casino, almost 400 rooms, spa, pool, um, steakhouse, Asian restaurant, number one casino in the South, best hotel. Man, we won so many awards. You never see me in the picture though. That's another story for another day. Um, yeah, my hotel, my hotel. Um, but making almost six figures, getting bonus checks that were oof, amen. Um, you know what I mean? Like, but to say that I came from the air mattress to living comfortably in a business starting from scratch, making averaging a little over $100,000 a year, 120, 2, 3, 4, no, a little bit under $100,000 a year. A little over $100,000 a year. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that because then now I know what to build upon. Um, what I can actually build on. So I had to really sit with these numbers. I had to write these numbers down, right? Got to write stuff down, pen to paper to the real stuff, write it down and make it plain to really understand what's going on with the business. So this is where we can really start talking about it. So I broke it down by revenues, I broke it down by averages, and I broke out how many numbers, right? Because I really want to see what's going on, especially the average. The averages were really the averages are really important. All of those brackets are really important, but averages was very interesting. Doing the numbers, I wanted to really understand what I was doing the most and revenue, and really see, hey, wait, where is money coming from? So let's break it down. Let's get into it. Um, so we'll go one by one. We'll go down through the Chat GPT. We'll go back. We will go down their breakdown. So number one was in home. In home is the highest revenue earner. It came in at $112,290. Uh, let's see. In home averages out about $33,430, and I did three of those. Um, I won't. I'll say I did. I did three. Okay, I did three, but I've only done two for actually a time period more than whatever, right? So I think my NDA is up by now, but I auditioned with Zion but I also was cooking for Valachunas. Valachunas has reached out to me and to cook for himself and his family. And so I was only there probably about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. And right that we did a week audition, and right in that week audition, Zion representative hit me up to go cook for them. And whenever I talk to chefs about this, whenever I talk to like on I've done podcasts and stuff like that, I tell people when you're going into home, you have to be comfortable with them also. Not this them with you and your food, right? When you go into situations, you have to make sure that it is good for you too, right? Just like when you go on a job interview and things like that. Like, yes, it's money. Yes, that's how we live. But at the same time, you got to think about you're the one that's going to be driving there. It's not just the great and sunny days when things are great. You know what I'm saying? You are in someone's home. You are in their home, right? The kitchen is the most trafficked area that is around in the home. You know what I mean? People spend a lot of time in there. And especially it depends on design of the kitchen also, because unless you get a kitchen that's uh like like we did a vacation service and this house was humongous. It was in right outside Baton Rouge. It was humongous. But it had like a whole separate wing, and it could have been like a wing like in-home staff. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been like a wing for them to actually stay there. Like it was built where it was like off to the side. The living room and kitchen was right in the middle. And it had 3 bedrooms off. So think about your common like apartment where it's like 3 bedrooms, a living area, another living area, inches way in and out, kitchen right there. Like that's how it was built. Dining room little set off to the side. You know what I'm saying? And that was great because it's a kitchen off to the side. So we can do whatever we want over there and do and bring them their food. So unless you get a house that's built like that, usually the kitchen's in the center is everything built around that. So what if someone's in the living room watching TV? Right? What if the kids are if you get a family and the kids are at the table, the countertop doing homework? You know, like my client now, like he works from home, so he's mostly in his living room, the kitchen area working. He's on the phone. I'm there. He's having meetings on the phone, Zoom calls. There I am cooking. You know what I mean? So it's like, so when you go into these people's homes, you got to make sure it's right for you. And the guy's honest truth, man, I went to Zion. I did my second day there as for audition because they wanted to do 3 days. And I think I was in the middle of doing lunch and I was like, I turned around, I was doing something on the stove, and I said, I don't want to do this. I just could feel, it just didn't feel right. And that is the thing with some of the stars, right? Especially Zion. He's gone through a lot of chefs. Everyone always talk about the chef and you get him right, goes through a lot of chefs. And a lot of athletes do that, right? And not all the time is it the actual athlete. Sometimes it's just the entourage. Sometimes it's the people that's around. Like when you get like the athletes and you get the celebrities, they have a lot of people around, and you have to be comfortable with them too. They got to be comfortable with you too. You know what I mean? And you got to make sure everything is good, especially family members. You got to make if their family is always around, if they live with the family, you got to make sure everyone is good. So that's a lot when it goes into it. I'd say whenever when you negotiate your salary, you got to negotiate all the family drama, all the drama that you're going to be in, because again, you were there, you're in their home. So it's not like you just a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? Because you have to be personal. Like you become a part of the family. You are a paid part of the family that provides them a service. These people can have valets, they can have doormen, they can have gardeners, housekeepers, all that good stuff. Unless that housekeeper has been there for years longer than you are going to be the person who they're always around. Or if you get a client that's going to take you everywhere, some of these private chef jobs, like you got to travel with them. Think about if you get someone who travels all the time, like you see all these people who are wealthy that move around. Yeah, they move around. You got to be there with them. So this type of stuff you got to think about when you start talking about your salary and what it's going to be. You got to think about the days when it's raining. They still got to eat. Who getting groceries in the rain? You, my boy. All right. So hey, Get your raincoat ready. Get some rain boots. Get ready. So in home. So I did three. I told Zion them, hey, I wasn't feeling it, and I had valid choosers in a way, so I went and did that. And valid choosers and I only lasted about 2 weeks. Honestly, I don't think his wife was comfortable with me in there. You know what I mean? I had to be there very early, things like that. It was a language barrier also. I mean, she spoke English. Everyone there spoke English, but I mean, their household, so they're going to speak their language, right? And so, hey, you got things you got to think about, things you got to deal with. The culture differences, things like that, you know? So, hey, it is what it is. Part of the game. Always stay respectful to yourself at all times. Um, so that's where we get to three. That's where the average of 33,000. Most of that came from my client from last year. So and he's a businessman. So I like my business people when I'm doing in-home stuff because usually that money is very secure. They know what they got going on, and this is an added service that makes their life easier. So they're very well more appreciative of it. Um, so ChatGPT said this seems to be the highest revenue category, indicating significant demand for in-home chef services. Um, I feel it is going. That is a new trend. I believe that is the new trend. It may have already been a trend, and it wasn't a lot of people in it. But I think what happened with COVID, with people being at home, people really realizing what is going on with the food these days, how much chemicals and stuff that's going on into it. Um, with the farm to table trend that really got popular, right? Think about that, how that's a trend, right? There's a certain type of people who go to that. Most people like that are wealthy. Wealthy people are going on. One thing about the wealthy people, they will, if you see really, really wealthy people, right? I'm talking about wealthy people, they're not eating a lot of junk. They may eat great food, but it's real food, it's cooked food, it's not processed food, it's not fast food. You get what I'm saying? Um, a lot of private chef jobs now, some of them are actually requiring you to take care of a garden, or they have enough money, enough space where they have a gardener and you pick out of there. So that's another thing to be thinking about. But yes, a lot of people are coming actually into private chefs in home. I've actually been thinking about how can I take advantage of this on multiple levels, right? Not just me going at home, other people going at home. Um, Especially here in New Orleans, there isn't a service for that. My client, we've gained a relationship. So I've asked him many times, how do I market to you? How do I get more people like you? And he's like, he joked, he was like, hey man, can't nobody have you. I'm like, no. But if I want to build on top of this, if I know chefs, other chefs who want to be private chefs, if I can get them a solidified position, if you can cook well and you can get you a job making 112,000, $20,000 a year, cooking 3 times a day, Monday through Friday, and that's great salary money. All you do is pay taxes on that, and it's cool because the expenses are taken care of by the client. Bonuses, like if you look for someone who wants consistent money like that, who just wants to cook, it is a great job, great job. So how can I capitalize on that? So that's where I have been trying to incorporate the chef's firm. And what that can actually be as a collective of chefs, us going out there and doing these different type of jobs. So this is one thing where I really want to have this meeting because it's like, okay, how can I turn this into not just me? How can I turn it into more? Right now we building a little company out here, taking over the private chef game. You feel me? All right, let's keep on going. Next up was Family Style. Family Style did $65,787. Family style dining is also quite popular, generating substantial income. All right, family styles. I did 45 of those, and it averaged out right about $1,400 and $1,473. And I did 45 of those. So I'm not actually mad with those. The family styles are really great because it's people who are doing like family gatherings, people who coming into town who just want a nice taste of New Orleans, a nice home cooked meal. Like these are really, really great. They're really great for the bang for the buck. I've been trying to figure out the menu size, right? Because these require a lot of work, right? You gotta like do a whole nice serving style setup. Now, I'm not one of these people who do these when they have the fire and the dry ice and the smoke. That's not what I do. I'm not saying anything's against that. That's not what I do. Okay. My stuff was very, very intimate. Very, we at the house, but it's an elevated service, right? Like we're at home. Like I can bring my friends and family to this. I can bring my bougie friends. I can bring mama and them. Like no matter who you have, you know what I'm saying? Like I've all my class of people. When I say class, all my demographic of people get this. No matter if they're ultra high net worth or just some people coming into New Orleans trying to have a good time, right? Everyone gets this service, and it's a great service. We do wine pairings with it, and we also can serve it out course style also. So think about it, you go to a restaurant and they do family style, right? Come out big plates to feed multiple people. We can do something either like that. Whereas I would say that's my lowest course, but it's still family style because that's just what the name is. But this one is really great. I need to solidify the actual like menu size on what I want to do. Because I was doing a grazing board, two appetizers, salad, two proteins, 2 to 3 sides, and dessert. And it gets a lot of work, man. They get work. Um, so I'm writing it down. Family style, menu size. That's what I'm gonna put. Because I need to figure that out. I need to solidify that down. But I wanted to actually be best for the value because I'm charging like $215 for that. And that's all inclusive of um, labor. That's all inclusive of groceries, all of that stuff, right? Groceries are priced out. So I do my prices based off of 35% uh, groceries and supplies. And that's pretty much right on. That's how much the budget to spend on it. And the rest is for labor, any other expenses, things like that in my pay. And what I've now done is instead of saying, all right, so I'm going to take, so the revenue that's left over will go to like the business expenses, any like business expense, like goes into the business expense. And then I would pay myself from that. So now what I'm going to do is I felt it's fair. I'm there. I'm cooking. I need to take a portion of labor also. So that's built into the price also. So whether chefs I get, they get paid. I also get paid. Um, all chefs have a set um per day, right? So I say per day when I pay any chefs that work with me, it's so because I feel like I pay well, um, that it's a daily service, right? So whether we're there, your time come in for 2 hours, or whether it comes in for we've done some 12 hours, you know, it's still the same pay because I feel like we get the good and the bad, the easy days and the hard days, right? This is like for your complete day because it's like if you're clearing out your day, even if it's 2 hours, you're clearing out your day. If you're clearing out your day, 16 hours, you're clearing it out, right? And it's a good day pay rate. I mean, if you break it down per hour, some people in my team, they're making almost, we do like something that's like 5 hours. I mean, they're almost making $50 an hour. You know what I mean? So it's like, where you gonna make that at? And you get to have chill and it's fun, right? So I may need to address that, but I've talked to everyone. Everyone seemed that it's fair for them, so that's what I've stuck with. And again, the pay is it's a good pay. So then I will pay myself. I have a set rate. I think my rate. I've been struggling with it. If it's going to be 500, 650, or 750, I still got to figure that out. Um, because again, it's almost near the same pay I'm paying everyone else. So it's like yes, but I'm still the one who's doing a little bit more work than everyone. So at least I can still pay myself, right? Uh, so family styles, I need to figure out the menu for that. It's number two revenue generator. It's number two. I wasn't surprised about that. We did 45 of those. Like I said, we do a lot of these. Travel with these, like yeah, it just requires a lot of equipment. Cause again, I don't do the big smoking, all that type stuff. My stuff is very intimate, but still that tableware stuff is heavy. Sometimes you're taking stuff upstairs. You got to find a great way to. I've broken so much stuff because of containers. Cause like those containers right there heavy, so you may drop them, something may bump, you know what I'm saying, something may these streets in New Orleans, you going over something and the bump is bigger than what it actually seems, and boom boom boom, now you look inside, stuff is broken. So I got to find a better way to actually transport those things. That's been one thing that's been is the issue. Also is transporting everything. How do you get everything around? We got pots, pans, we got food, we got containers we're serving in, plates, silverware, wine glasses, you know what I mean? Like how are we transporting this stuff? uh One, that's easy to carry. Two, that makes everything lighter or compact and stuff like that. Like all that stuff. The car that's getting there, vehicle, whatever it is, like all that type stuff. Um, Next up we have three course. So this kind of surprised me. Three course meals, which is usually going to be salad, entree, and dessert. Sometimes people they'll bring their own dessert, so it's like they're getting four courses, which I don't mind that because I'm only still doing three. And if it's like a cake or something, like we'll cut that down for them. It's adding to the added service. This also comes with a wine pairing. It also comes with a grazing board now. So I've actually done 52 of these, right? So not only is it second in revenue, but it is the number one in the number of, which is crazy. I That surprised me. So I did 41,856. That was absolutely surprising to me. Let's see. So 41,856. So I mean it's an 800 average, $800 average, um, which isn't which isn't bad. Which isn't bad. I would love to see that over 1,000. So again, this is from 2020. So some of these I was doing for $300 total. $300 total. I'll say it again. $300 total. In this economy, I mean, I was starting off. Goddamn, what? I was out here giving away dinners. And you know what? I thought the other day, I said, man, if some of my old clients could come back and get this service again, I'd blow their mind. Cause I mean, I was still learning 2020, 2021, 2022. I was really still learning and I was still growing as a chef also, right? You gotta think about like what I'm doing now was not what I was doing back then. You know what I'm saying? Like it still wasn't bad, but I mean, the plating wasn't the same. Food wasn't the same. The complexity of the menu, the food wasn't the same. You know what I mean? So I always say I need to go back. I need to do better on my marketing, my efforts on getting return clients. So we're gonna write that down because that is something. Then I'll talk to my business coach, um, newsletter efforts. You know what I mean? So it's things like that that I know I need to be more consistent on. I've never been consistent on sending out newsletters. That just creativity part is not in me, so it's a struggle. So I push it off to the side. Um, it's one of those things where money has been coming in. You know what I mean? Like I've averaged almost like a $12,000 per month. But then again, it's like, okay, when times get slow, could some of that return clients to those marketing efforts, right? Because you got to plant seeds for stuff that's going to come later, right? Um, when you harvest things, when you put things in the ground, I mean, you got to plant seeds. You got to plant seeds in the fall, sometime for stuff to grow in the spring, or you got to plant stuff in the spring for stuff to grow through the summer to get through for harvest time in the fall. So, hey, man, gotta have faith like a farmer. And that's part of that nurturing part that goes in there. What's Michael Todd? What he said? Uh, what he said? Plant, harvest, seed, grow. Hey, gotta do it. So 3 courses, very surprising. So that average now 3 courses are 250, I believe, 250 per person. So wait, I'm so glad that came up. So that's why the average now is bumped up. Um, I do again. We do a lot of these. These are great for people who want something uh, a little more upscale than a family style, right? So we do a lot of these. Um, these are easier to do because I mean it's only 3 courses, right? So most of the times, if it's dessert goes into more prep time, but it's less time actually being in someone's home. Um, so I've gotten average 3 service is going to be. I mean, if they're like a if they're just chilling 6 hours, I think I've gotten some down to 4 hours in and out, in and out, right? So again, you're doing a salad course, just doing the main entree, sometimes dessert. So I mean, it goes a little more prep time, but it's good. Um, Next up, vacation services. I love vacation services. Um, Vacation services. So vacation services did 39,551. Again, I think some of these I've gotten paid in some cash. So this is well over 40,000. The tips that come from these are absolutely amazing. And I love doing these because I knew these were the most bang for my buck. They average out about 1,977, and I've done 20 of these. And a lot of times, these have just been people who are coming into town and they want us to take care of uh, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch and dinner, breakfast and dinner, lunch and dinner. Like whatever the combination, they want multiple days of service, and we take care. And it's pretty much we treat it like an in-home service, right? We take care of the entire refrigerator. All food and beverages needs are taken care of by us. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play bartender and um, doing drinks, you know what I'm saying, making cocktails, mocktails, stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's great, right? Because again, we're down in the South, so a lot of times we'll go out to Gulf Shores and do these. So if we have to travel, you have to take care of all travel expenses. All travel expenses have to be taken care of. So however we got to get there. So if it's either rent a car, if I travel over 3 hours, then it has to be a flight plus a rental car plus a place to stay. So sometimes people have houses big enough that we stay there. Sometimes it's not. Like sometime in Gulf Shores, if they don't have one of the bigger houses, then we stay. It's like a little area of like these little Gulf Louisiana cottages type thing, little beach cottages, real cute. Well, you see one if you go back, you'll see one in a earlier vlog. Alexandria and I went. I think I vlogged one. Alexandria and I was there. So these are great. Take care of all food and beverage needs. Think about the service, right? Think about you have enough money to have a chef come with you. Y'all sitting chilling on the beach, right? Chilling on the beach, big beach house, doors open. You got a pool, then you got a deck that leads out to the beach where the ocean is. You wake up in the morning. What you smell? Coffee. You smell food being cooked. Think about waking up, and all you have to do is get up. You with your family, with your friends. Breakfast already there. Mimosas if you want, fresh orange juice, fresh squeezed juice, um, fruit sitting there if you want to munch on something, coffee brewing. Think about the doors are open, ocean breeze coming through, sun rising. You can go sit out by the pool, sunglasses on, bathing suit on, reading a book, checking your phone, scrolling the phone, or just sitting there. Coffee sitting there to your right. Pancakes, French toast, waffles, egg, egg Benedicts, whatever you want for breakfast being made for you, fresh omelet. Kids running around, right? If you're with your friends, everybody waking up, doing what they do. Beautiful. Go out, do your adventures for the day. When you come back, there's a tower of lunch waiting for you. Or y'all chilling in, lunch is being made, you sitting there chilling, chilling, doing your thing, relaxing. Chefs in the kitchen cooking it up. Dinner, if you want to just something light before you go out and explore the nightlife, you get something on your stomach before you go out. Don't have to worry about what we're going to eat. Everyone got a great meal before they leave. Or if you want some nice fancy dinner, multi-course, multiple wine selection, everybody at the table looking beautiful, looking sexy, and you got chefs coming to you. Beautiful food, amazing food, Instagram worthy food, food that you remember for the rest of your life. What about you, chef? Think about you on the beach. Think about you in Nova Scotia. Spring, in the summer, waking up, it's like 40, midday may get to 70, cool breeze coming through the kitchen. Right on the Bay Area, so you hear the waves crashing on the little beach. 6 o'clock, you got to get up because people want breakfast for 8 or 9. And they're making up something, just quick eggs. You cured a grave block salmon, cream cheese, bagels, coffee brewing. Think about that. Think about that's things that you get to do just being cooking. You're just cooking, baby. I love vacation services. It is always an adventure. And the tips are always great also. Next up, corporate services. Corporate event services are also significant revenue stream. That's from ChatGPT. Corporate, and that was interesting. The next two were very, very interesting. It was corporate and then meal preps. Corporate, I've done a lot of different corporate things. Worked with a lot of different corporate partners, like doing some things for them. Lunch drop offs, small little appetizer setups, a lot of small appetizer setups. I've done some things with some schools, some things with some different programs. I've gone back and done a lot of things with Noki, and I put them under corporate because, hey, that is a corporate partner because they make a check out to the business. So that's a business to business relationship. Even though it's a personal relationship, at the end of the day, it's still a business relationship because they paying the business, not just your boy. So different things like that. So 37,000, average out 2,317, and I did 16 of those. So they were very, very, very well bang for a buck. And I got a lot of those because think about the times, right? Coming out of COVID, it was all DEI, it was all the supporting black businesses. They supported black businesses. I was directly affected by that, and I appreciate them. And then I got a lot of repeat customers for that. I mean, you show up, you do a great job, They were just trying to, I'm just trying to help a brother out, and they actually found a gym, and boom, there you go. And then you get passed around, and then you got to think about there are also people coming to these events, and sometimes they have turned out to be actual clients. So I mean, hey, you show up, you show out, right? Shine bright like a diamond. Well, Chris and I say you get a chance to play is field day. All right, so meal preps was number 6 revenue. That was very, very surprising. That was very surprising. That was extremely surprising to me. I did $28,599.73. And that was just I just added on another $800 to that last week. This week. Um, so very interesting for meal prep. Um, Averaged out $2,599, and I've done 11 of these. So this is 11 different. I want to say it says 11 different people, so that's 11 different services to people, 11 different clients. So, in most times, people who get a meal prep from you are going to get it more than one time. So that was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. This is where you actually get a lot of the athlete. So if I'm going to get an athlete, I've had some celebrities. If you get an athlete celebrity, this is the best way because again, you're not having to deal with entourage. You're not having to deal with everyone. You can just drop meals off. It's usually people who are really, you're concerned about their health, right? I think if you go the health way, if you're in this lane, if you go the way of being healthy and things like that, then you get a lot more clients. A lot more clients who are wanting to pay well, because if you're serious about your health, then you're usually serious about your money. If you're serious about your money, then you want to pay for services. You don't mind doing it. So meal preps were very interesting. I don't enjoy meal preps because I have to do it here at my house. I would rather go somewhere and cook because I don't like cooking out of my house for certain things. Um, Two people who are on who I'm trying to do the chef's firm with is Chef Toy and Chef Chris. Um, and they both have been working at a meal prep company. So we've been talking about ways to leverage that knowledge that they have gained into maybe actually turning this into something. I have a great relationship with one of the nutritionists for the Pelicans. So a lot of times when we get these meal preps, so again, why I want to do this business is a lot of times I've had people reach out, certain athletes or something reach out, and they've wanted some meal prep. I just haven't had the time to be able to do it. Either I've had a client where I'm cooking for someone daily or something, right? Um, so I've passed them on to people, and I've done that multiple times. So think about the ones I've not done, and the ones I've done and I've made almost $30,000. Think about the ones um, who I didn't take, right? So again, that's a whole possibility, and so that's another reason why maybe start the chef's firm, maybe start something, right? We can actually maybe get a commercial kitchen and meal prep service be the service that actually pays, make it big enough that we have work areas. Meal prep service can actually be the service that pays for the building, and we're able to prep out for all the other events out of there also. Hey, never know. Putting it out there, right? Um, oh, sorry. Writing it down. I need to put it down. Meal prep service and building. Okay. Next up, brunch. ChatGPT brunch services are relative popular. So they are. Again, it goes along with like the family style stuff. Um, people love to have a great brunch. People love brunches. they love brunches, right? And people who want to have a nice brunch at home, because hey, brunch culture is a thing, but sometimes people just want to do that with their friends. And this is a lot of times where you're not talking about everything, your discretion, because I mean, people turn up at brunch. You gotta have discretion with all these events. Anything, all these services when you go into someone's home, you have to have discretion. People are gonna ask you what type of things have you seen and stuff like that. You know, have you a little story or two that you can never connect back to someone. But I mean, some of the stuff, hey man, you just gotta keep your mouth closed. The things that you see, you're gonna see some ish. Um, so brunch services, and so I've done 24 of those. I average $1,017. I'm not mad with that average. If that average is at 1,000 now, then maybe I need to try bumping up a couple hundred. My mind goes to maybe 1,500. Um, I don't know if 1,500 is doable, but at least 1,200. So anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500, I would love to see that at. Um, so averages. Let's see. Let's go back to family style. Family styles. If it's at 14, so it needs to be anywhere from 15 to I'll say 18. Um, meal prep is at 25. I mean, it's so surprising. I don't even know what I would say. Maybe add another 1,000 on if it's because 1,000 doesn't mean go up in meal prep prices. Vacation services, I'm still working on those pricing. We had some for vacation for Jazz Fest. We had a lot. We did two, and we actually did one. Um, so this is another reason why the chef firm listen to this. What your boy was out here doing. So that week we had over 20. We had over eight. We had 8 jobs. Um, I made this thing where I put on Instagram where I actually did like a recap of it. Let me go to it real quick. So we had 9 clients, 3 cities. We served over 85 people, 2 vacation services, 4 family style dinners, 2 multi-course dinners, 1 chef's table. And we did that over from April 20th for about 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. Me and the team was out here doing this stuff. Do you feel me? Like 3 cities. One day we were doing vacation services in 2 days. We were doing vacation services in Baton Rouge and doing dinners, dinners here in New Orleans. Same time. You feel me? We outside with it. Yeah, search firms coming soon. Um, so vacation services. What else? Corporate events. We bumped it up to 2,500. Yeah. So 3 course. Oh, 3 course. I would love 3 course at least be 1,000 average. For sure, for sure. All right, so under brunch. Brunches. Bad thing about brunches is you gotta get up early. Good thing is you'll be done by. See, the only thing with brunches, right, is a lot of times people say, "Oh, I want to eat for a certain time," but because it's early, not and you're doing groups, right, so everyone doesn't get up at the same time. So pacing that out. If they're doing mimosas, if they lit, you're gonna be there for a while, buddy. Go on, just chill out, and you're gonna be there for a second. If they turn, yeah. But the great time is you get to experience that. So a lot of times, like it's fun. Like it don't even feel like work sometimes. Like you vibing with some people you never met, and it's a vibe, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. Next under that was 4 course. ChatGPT 4 course meals contribute a decent portion of revenues. We did $21,836.04. Um, Four courses. I wasn't surprised by that. I did 27 of those. They average about $800 per. Um, Four courses. That needs at least be 1,200 to 1,500 because now you're adding another course in. So usually be salad. We'll do some type of like um, soup, or if they want some New Orleans style, some type of great New Orleans like barbecue shrimp or something like that. Then we'll do the main course and then the dessert, right? So that does take a little more time because now you're adding in another element, another course element. That's another level of service also, right? Because now you got to go out and drop plates, wash plates, things like that, silverware, stuff like that. If you're pouring wine, that may be another wine course. So that adds on another 2 hours at least. At least. And then now you're talking about different level cleanup and stuff like that. And usually when we're doing four courses, that comes with different level of service. People are expecting something a little bit different. Again, if three courses can be chill, three courses can be nice. But when we start getting four courses, now we're talking about nice to elegant. You know what I mean? So that needs at least to be 1,200, 1,500. Did 27 of those. Not mad at that at all. Five courses. All right. So now we starting getting to bigger services that not a lot of people get. But I did 12 of those over the last 4 years. These require a lot. This is where I need a kitchen, I need prep space, I need more fun tools to play with so we can start doing more. Um, I'm glad we've able to do the ones we've done because they've all been learning experiences. Um, but when we start doing five courses, like it just requires so much either prep work or you're doing a lot of work there. And we start to bringing in a lot more people because then now we're in elegant. We're in elegant services. Now this is where like the plates need to look a certain way, silverware need to look a certain way. Um, we're using chargers or we're using placemats. What does the decor look like on the table? Like again, I don't do the big buffet stuff. I'm at the table. So now we're talking about tablescapes and all that type stuff. So again, I'm glad I've only done a couple of these because I have been able to learn a lot with these course dinners. At one point I was working with this young lady. She was handling front of house. I was handling um, everything else, right? So we would talk about tablescape. So she had a business where she did that, where she did tablescapes, dinners, and things like that. And then she would charge me an extra because she would be my server also. So she would do these tablescapes for me and things like that. If you go back and see some, we did this one where this guy wanted to do a cannabis dessert, right? And so we did a dessert. And so she correlated them somehow to stones, right? She's like, because the family, like the house, I sent her pictures of the house and stuff where we're gonna be serving. So she was like, it was very earthy. They had like these stained glasses, like it just was very like that was around. It was very like a funky, upscale New Orleans type house and people. So it was like, well, we're getting stoned, um, like stones and shells because everything I was using was like stone and shells. So I had oysters come out of shells, like all type of stuff, right? And so I did cannabis in the cream sauce for the dessert. It was a bread pudding. They wanted bread pudding, and and so she correlated with stones. So everyone had like a different stone um that was at their seat. And that's how they picked where they sat at based on the stone. And then she would read out what that stone means and how it relates to that person's personality, not even knowing. So it was fun to go around and see was like, oh, was it really a person or was it not? Or was some most of them was spot on. Some of them was like, okay, I can see some of that, but some of them was like, oh my God. So it was really cool. Like, what is specialized service, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stuff like that. Have fun with it. You're creating an experience. You're creating an experience, baby. All right. So, where we at? Five courses. I love it because that's where we start doing some real fun stuff. But man, they can require a lot of work. So if they're averaging 1,500, I'm gonna put 17. I'm gonna put 2,000. I'm gonna put 2,500 because I think as I grow culinary wise, then that service grows also. And I feel that way for the chef table also. So I don't want to be. I mean, 17 is the minimum. Again, I've gone through a new price raise since a little bit last year, and I like how prices are. They probably need to go up again coming around for this new season coming up, but I like where they are right now. 5 courses, I'm charging 285, I believe, per person. 4 courses is 265. 3 courses 250. Family style is 215 to 225 if you want to do course style. And then chef's tables are, I believe it's 305 or 315. Chef's tables, we're doing like 7, 8 courses. We getting it in. I got some footage of some that's coming up soon. We've done 7 of these. So if this at 1,900 per, this would easily be 22 to 25. Shit, maybe even 3. And usually I've had this one guy. He's paid for services 3 times, and each one has been a chef's table. And he's grown with me, and he's like, bro, every single time you do this, you get better. So I'm like, you know, I'm saying I be doing the thing, I be trying to. All right, we're running through the last of these. Chef's table I've made $5,478 off of. I ain't gonna lie, that 5,000 I would love. That's even per. Like, yeah, chef's table I've really underpriced that one. Doing 7 of those. I'm sorry, that was read the wrong one. Chef's table. I'm sorry, $13,397. Okay, I said I knew that looked wrong. Yeah, so I've done $13,000. 5 course, I've done $18,000. I did 12 5 courses, 7 chef tables. All right. So under that we have chef services. So now these are just random stuff I've done. Now I wouldn't say random. These have been a lot of ways where it's like they've been some fillers. They've been some trying some stuff. And so chef services can be categorized a lot of different ways. If I just go out and I do something where it's not related to like coursework, family style, something like that, where it's like someone is wanting me to come do something, right? So I've had a client where, a couple of clients where they just wanted me to come, like if they're having like a party and they like to cook, they may cook a couple of different things and then they want me to come cook a couple of different things to add on to it. And then again, they get to say, "Oh, look at this private chef I have," and then I cook with them and stuff like that. So it's a good thing for them. They feel great. They also, their guests are getting a great meal. They're actually getting like a. So some people, again, they open up their homes after COVID, right? Don't have to always go somewhere, or you get people who like to entertain in their home. Who they bring in? They bring in a chef to help cook some of the food. Boom. So I've done $5,478 worth, and I usually just charge a flat fee. Now I charge 500. I think back in the day, a little while ago, I was doing like 350, and sometime before that, I was just doing like 250, 150. Also, you've seen the vlogs when I went to go do the Winn Dixie things. I think I was only getting like $150 for that, plus gas. So that's in there. So to say almost 5,500 in 4 years off of just doing things like that, I like it. I like it a lot. Chef services, I've done 7. So I'm averaging $782. So if I can get chef services up to, well, again, that's calculating some multiple things, and right. So, all of, I think all of like when Dixie stuff is in there. So, and that's lumped in as 1. So, I mean, I can go back and look at that. Let me go back and look at that. Drop offs. So it was like cooking a meal and dropping it off. Last year, I think I did something for Thanksgiving for this young lady. I cooked. She drove down from Shreveport. I cooked an entire Thanksgiving meal for like 12 people. Uh, Packaged it up for her. Had them in coolers. Met her um, at the Costco up here. Loaded her Jeep up with like 3 coolers worth of food. Bada bing, bada boom. And charge her a nice little penny for it. Done a couple of different couple things. Hey, can you just cook this, and this for me and bring it, to our venue, or cooking one young lady. I've done. She had family in town, and she was like, "Can you drop off a brunch?" Boom. So some of those have been great. Just filler stuff. Let's say I did a wedding for 2,500. That is actually on one of the vlogs. Also, I did a wedding, the coolest wedding I've ever been to in my life. My mom is a wedding planner. I worked for a wedding florist before. I've been to a lot of weddings. I have been to a lot of weddings. I have been to a lot of weddings. Working for a wedding planner, working for a wedding florist. This was the coolest wedding I've ever seen in my life. Um, Team class. Team class is doing the online pizza classes. I charge them 300 per class. Team class, I've done $1,800. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go back. I got 1,800 times divided by 300. There you go, six. Ooh, the morning. Child. Let's see. So here we go. What's next here? 2 course. 2 course only have done 600 of those. I don't even offer that service anymore. It got it got a little wild. Like it's just not it's not worth it. One course of $511. So that was very, very early on where I was offering those type stuff. If anyone just wants, so I don't offer a one course, but what I will do is like if you just want like someone to come cook you a meal for that night. Um, I've done things like that where it's like, okay, you just want just a home cooked meal, then I'll just charge you a fee plus groceries or something like that. Like I've been trying to figure out that. I'm just going to write that down. Um, yeah. So I actually tried to do that as a special one time. I need to go back and look at that special. Go back to that special that I had. So it was like a chef in home, so many nights a week. I did have one person take advantage of that. Um, and again, it was some business people. He is in charge of a school. She does some, I think she is a tech work. Um, and they were black, which was great. They were a little bit, a couple years older than I am, which was great, right? Because it was good to see someone like, oh, okay, like this is obtainable. You know what I'm saying? Like you see one thing I love about being able to go into these homes and being around these people is because you actually can see what is actually obtainable and what this life actually looks like, right? You actually can see like, oh, this is what it actually is. People think stuff is fancy cars and stuff. Like those, yes, those people are making millions, but what is it to make 250 a year, $300,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year? Like, what does that life actually look like? People who are living comfortable. They're not living extravagant and comfortable. But then again, I got extravagant clients now. So I mean, hey, you get to see that life too. So it's like but just being able to see it is very beautiful. So also auditions. So I've done auditions for people. Um, so usually if you're going to do something for in home, you do an audition first. Um, I've done 750 auditions, and I usually charge 250. That's what I used to charge. I used to go on the rates 250 for an audition plus groceries. So they'll just pay you back for groceries and stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, you have to go in there and make sure you're right. You have to make sure they're right for you, and they're gonna make sure that you're right for them. You know, again in this game, I mean, hey man, it is what it is. So there's racism in this game also. You know what I mean? And sometimes when a 6 foot 265 black man come rolling up in that thing, everybody ain't always comfortable with it. So ChatGPT did give me insights and recommendations. Number one, focus on high revenue services. In-home, family-style, three-course meals are your top revenue generators. Continue to market and expand these services. Consider building these services with other offerings to increase value and appeal. I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, with these three being the biggest ones, like I got to find a way to capitalize off these big time, big time. How can you actually again chef's firm? How can we turn this to a multiple thing? You know, my business coach again, he said, you know, think about you can only do so much on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That I mean, you can only do so much physically. You know, if you pack it in, if it's just me, if it's just me, I can do a brunch and a dinner. Like, because my biggest days are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Just say you pack every week out. You pack 7 days a week. You don't give yourself an off day. 7 days a week. Max you can do 14. Can you do 14? Because this stuff is taxing on the body. I'm glad I work out. I work out just so I can do these events all the time. Because again, carrying all this equipment in, you're carrying in pots and pans, food, coolers, plates. Plates are heavy. Nice plates are heavy. We ain't using no paper plates. Real plates are heavy. Bring a stack of 10, 12 dinner plates in, plus salad plates, plus dessert plates, because we're doing courses, plus bread and butter plates, plus real silverware, glasses, wine glasses, decoration. This stuff gets very heavy. So, max you can do 14, you do two a day. If you do a brunch and all that, let's be realistic. You're really down to maybe six, five, four. Okay. What you gonna do if somebody else called? What if you got booked a 2 person dinner, which is a little bit under $1,000, but then someone else calls you that booked you 3 months in advance. Someone called you for the anniversary, birthday dinner, surprising someone. They call you 3 months in advance. Boom, I got this book. Then someone else call you up. It's like, hey man, I got this crew coming in, man. We want a chef's table. It's about 15 of us. Do your thing. How much you charging? Just let me know. Send it to my assistant. She gonna pay for it. But you got this 2 person dinner, somebody's anniversary, birthday. That's a little bit under 1,000 plus tip. You may get 1,000. But then you gotta what you gonna do with this? I just said 315 times 12. That's 3,780. Could be a tip in there. What if someone call you like, hey man, we doing this vacation service, man. We want you to come through and do vacation. So we're gonna fly you out to Cancun. I got this dinner already booked. Man, you gotta fly with us, man. Man, but I already got this dinner booked. What you gonna do? So that's what he asked me. He said, so what you gonna do? So I always kept that in the back of my mind. And Vacate the Jazz Fest was a great time where I really tried it out, see what we can do. Multiple teams, multiple places, multiple cities. Hey, we'll see when turn this into service. In home. Um, this year I actually placed a. So my client is a guy that I cook for. His family lives in Kenner. His mom and dad. They saw how well that eating. His mom's getting older. She can't cook anymore. They're eating out all the time. That's unhealthy. So what can you do with a maybe a chef to come in and cook for them too? Boom. I got a chef place with them. So how can I turn that into a service? Apparently there's a need. I follow several job boards where they're tapped in with people who are always looking for any in-home type staffing. Butlers, nannies, gardeners, drivers, um, personal assistants, um, chefs, houseman, anybody. And some of these jobs, I mean, they're how. All right, so apparently there's a need. Well, maybe we can just do that too. Place chefs in there. I have hired many people before. Do my last job. My jobs before. I've hired many people. I know how to find great talent. All right. Number two, expand niche markets. Vacation and corporate services are performing well. These niches could be expanded with targeted marketing efforts. Look into partnerships with travel agencies, corporate event planners, or real estate companies catering to vacation rentals. I'm also going to add in private jet services. So, ChatGPT coming through with some great ideas. These are some ideas where I've either done before. Nothing's really come about, but start doing it again. Hey, don't hurt to reach out, man. Don't hurt to reach out. Follow some DMs, follow some emails. Um, I actually think I have a script or two somewhere that one of my business coaches has given me. I think I can go back and look for that script, or I just write a script. Let's see, write a script for emails. Script introduction. Maybe I can get one of these virtual assistants or something to maybe reach out to some people. Do a little database search. Also had a meeting with my PR manager. I go back through that stuff too. Had a meeting with a guy out of Chicago who does the same thing. No, we had a meeting. Go back through that stuff also. Just kind of seeing notes, seeing what's going on. Number three, increase marketing for emergent segments. Meal prep and brunch are promising areas. Enhance their market efforts to boost these segments. Promote the convenience and quality of meal prep services, possibly through subscription models. Very true. So I just had, so I have a new client that I'm doing meal preps for. She works at a hospital, born to hospital officials. I do 4 dinners. I do 2 time a week drop off. So I just cook, and they're very simple dinners because that's what they requested. Again, not everyone eats crazy. Jesus went, can we do protein, veggie, carb? Make them real simple. So, and what I did was that she has to sign at least a 2-week contract each time that we do it. So at least I know for 2 weeks I have a certain amount of money guaranteed, right? So all about now is about trying to guarantee finances, guarantee money coming in as much as possible, especially with these in-home clients and drop off and meal preps, right? Because going week to week, you're going to guarantee 1 week worth of income. If I can at least guarantee 2 weeks, maybe now it needs to be a month contract or something. Number 4, optimize lower performance services. Evaluate why chef services drop off and wedding services have lower revenue. Is it due to less demand or insufficient marketing? Um, hmm. I'm not really on the wedding scene. I've had a couple people reach out for weddings, but they've been like private in home weddings. When it comes to weddings, I have assisted on weddings. When it comes to weddings, facility is key, right? Because even if they want, say it's a buffet, you got to have somewhere to heat the food, where you're cooking the food at. If it's going to be like if you're cooking at home and dropping it off, the timing has to be impeccable. And then how you keeping it warm, right? But then you're in your kitchen cooking for how many people? So now you have kitchen limitations. Um, or it has to be, if you're doing multi-course, I mean, so you gotta have a kitchen. Let's see what else. Chef service and demand. I could say marketing, insufficient marketing, drop offs, insufficient marketing. Like probably really could use marketing around those efforts. Like those really could be some nice money getters here and there. Um, yeah, so write that down. So marketing for chef service, drop off. Weddings, yeah. Consider revising pricing, improving service packages, or more targeted marketing to increase these categories' appeal. I agree to all that. I agree to all that. So one reason why I put this in Chat GPT because um I wanted to talk these numbers out to someone, but now I'm in a realm of people. If you're going to talk to someone for a time, like unless you have a great relationship with someone and you trust their business mind, you know, having to sit down on time and have a business meeting with someone like something like this. Look, we're almost what hour, almost an hour 30 in. You know what I mean? And we're still going over stuff. So it's like to take someone else's time. I'm in the realm of good people cost, and I gotta start saving as much money as possible. AI is a great tool. I wanted to talk these numbers out. What if I can put the numbers into something and it's going to spit me out some stuff that I would even ask myself? Because these are some questions that I was asking, but it's like if I can see someone else asking, then I can answer back. Um, Special services, chef table, and team class are unique offerings. Promote these as exclusive experience to attract high end clients. Use these as premium offerings to differentiate from competitors. Totally agree. I got to find a way to get these out. Now these are what I actually do a lot of social media on. Um, that is one thing I try to use TikTok on. So I'm write that down, TikTok, so I get more on the chef's table. Really on that. In team class is not something I really market. They have their own marketing as far as that's a company that offers that. Um, what I possibly could do is another type of class because right now um I'm just doing pizza. It's another offering. Yeah, I'm just doing pizza right now, a pizza class, which is cool, and it's $300 a pop. But we probably would find another way to generate some revenue. Um, High end clients. One thing I did ask my daily client that I have. I asked them what is the way that you would want to be marketed to, and because again I literally wrote out my demographic. What is my ideal perfect client? And describe them like their personality also, right? So I said my client was, I'm gonna write it out again because I had to pay somewhere, but it's somewhere else. So perfect client. I'm usually going to say my perfect client is over the age of 30. Over the age of 30. Usually income. I'm going to say usually the person by themselves. Let's just say 150K greater income. Usually family income is at least going to be 300,000 or more, right? Um, they're going to drive a sensible vehicle, and this can be from a Toyota on up, right? I mean, it's not usually there's going to be a very dependable type of car, right? It's not usually going to be like a Honda or something, unless it's like a Honda that's been a while in around and they have some other car, you know. They're gonna drive a sensible car. They're usually gonna have some type of luxury type of vehicle, even if it's not considered, like Maybach luxury, but it may be Range Rover. It may be a Lexus truck. It may be a nice Bronco. It can be a um something like that, a Yukon or something like. Usually it's gonna be something like big, and it's gonna be something nice and sturdy, right? Then you get people who's gonna drive the exotic stuff, right? Usually gonna be some type of collector of something, right? They're gonna collect something. Even if it's collect something as investments, even collect something as like watches, paintings, art, something like that. Records, like they usually want to collect something. Wine, like they usually have something where they like to show something off. Um, like me right now, like I think I'm starting to collect bonsai. Right, I got 3 now. I'm growing another one. Um, so it's like they have something where it's kind of like their things are nice, right? They have nice things. They appreciate fine type art, um, travel, sporting events. They go to sporting events. They're usually going to sit in the box, or they're going to sit closer to. Unless you get like a fan who's had season tickets for a certain spot, right? So you have the ones where they're going to have season ticket holders, and they have a certain spot that they sit in. If they're like a real fan that's been in the family for a couple of years, or it's like the perfect sport fan seat. And when you start going to the boxes, when you start going to the floor, like, so one of the perks, I've gotten a chance to sit courtside two times at the Pelican games, 2-3 times maybe. Beautiful experience. You are locked into the game. Like you actually pay attention to the game. Like usually, when you sit in the stands and stuff, you can be on your phone, you're talking to people. Even when you go up to the box, like you're doing more talking than you actually kind of are paying attention. Unless the game is like super important and super interesting, you're up there talking. You pay attention to the big plays, but it's not like you're sitting there solely for the game. So yeah, either season ticket holders or they're sitting very, very close. Um, what else is there? Paintings, collect stuff, fine arts, ballets, operas, travel. They're traveling first class, they're traveling business class, they're traveling comfortably, like they like comfortable type situations. Um, these people, my ideal client, they're usually not in the clubs. They're not really, they may go to a club once in a while, but they're not usually in the clubs, right? They're usually going out is a nice dinner, fine arts, um, some type of tour or event or something like those. Those are the type of clients that I usually get. Events here, they're in Mardi Gras cruise. They're at social events. Social events. They do social stuff. Um, they are part of charity stuff, right? Either they're giving out the goodness of their heart, or they're giving out for tax reasons. They're doing charity stuff. I mean, it just is what it is, right? So when you're talking about your client, who is your client? What do they do? What do they drive? Where are they shopping at? Like my client I cook for at home, sometimes he shops at dealers. Like, hey, I shop at dealers, right? They got some nice stuff. It's good. I mean, he's a guy, so what most guys, we're not going out and spending $1,000 on clothes. Our everyday clothes, good quality stuff. Good quality stuff. All right, next 6, service variety. While 2-course and 1-course meals have low demand, they could be promoted as part of a special offer or combined with other services to enhance customer service. I agree. So I told you about I had that special where I was offering in-home stuff to people like on a weekly, monthly basis. I was doing usually I would say I was doing a 2-course. I was going there offering some type of appetizer, and then they got a complete meal where it's like protein, veggies, carb. And then maybe that one thing is like a salad, or maybe it's then I did like a mango salsa, some salsa, something, something like that. Nothing crazy, but still is a nice, healthy, home cooked meal. Did a taco bar, stuff like that. So I think the 2-course and the 1-course I'm gonna write those down. So I can turn it into something. Then he gave me an action plan. Number 1, market analysis. Conduct surveys or get feedback from current clients to understand their preferences and willingness to pay for different services. Analyze competitor offerings to identify potential gaps or opportunities. So I'm not aware of a lot of competitors in the city. Now put that in air quotes because I don't consider them a competitor. Their service is a competitor. The high-end restaurants are my competitors, right? A lot of times, especially a lot of times, if it's a group, someone has heard of a private chef service, right? And they'll reach out on behalf of the group and they'll get my price and present it back to the group. Usually there's going to be someone like, while we do that, you get a chance to be in the city. Let's go out in the city. Let's go to some restaurant, things like that, right? And they're more like their experience of going out and getting a great meal. And then you have everyone else is like, well, I can be in the comfort of our own space. You don't have to worry about Ubers. If someone wants to drink, they can drink as much as they want to. The fact of getting dressed up and going out and things like that to have a meal where you can have someone who can come in and probably do something better in home, right? So that's always a lot of times that's the back and forth with people. I do know so again, that's the competitorship with the restaurants is about the service. Price wise, I have found a group who does similar to what I do. And I am exactly where their prices are. Now, I don't know what other services they offer based on just their website that I've seen. They call themselves the Furlough 4. So my prices are right with them. Conduct surveys, get feedback from current clients to understand. So I probably could do that. So for the firm, survey clients. What fun survey can I send out? Newsletter, maybe get some feedback about something. So I do send them a follow-up questionnaire after the service about the service, right? Tell me about the service. I think it's like 10 questions, maybe it's 5 questions, 7 questions. It's not a lot. Some are just some drop down, rate the service 1 to 5. There's someone that's asked, click things that you liked about the service, and you got multiple things you can click. And also a place for them to leave feedback. And I also asked them about, in there, the quality of price. Did you feel like the price of what you paid matches up to the service that you got? And I always get yeses on those. Like, I've never got anything where it's like, no one has said anything bad. I've never had any low rating. I think it's like 1 through 5 on there. I've never had anyone do a low rating. So pricing and service is always matched. So that's one thing I've always been very careful of when I raise my prices is I want to make sure if I raise it up to a certain price that the quality and the experience that you get is going to match. Targeted marketing, use social media, email campaigns, and partnerships to target high revenue segments and niche markets. Highlight success stories, testimonials, and unique selling points for each service category. I do like the highlight success stories, testimonials. Um, we're gonna put this one in both. It's gonna be both. And this, I'm just writing an actual list out, like to do list. I've have stuff typed out, but I feel like writing it down just gives something else. All right, what else we got here? On social, email. All right. Service improvement. Number 3, continuously improve the quality of your service based on customer feedback. Um, invest in training and development for your chefs to ensure high standards. Continuous in education. Um, hmm. Continue to improve the quality of the service based on customer feedback. I'm always trying to find ways to enhance the service. Um, I've really put a lot of effort into making sure um, effort and money into the how everything looks. Plates, making sure like plates are beautiful. I got about 4 or 5 different sets of plates that are like colorful designs and stuff. Some are just different colors. The shapes of the plates, what the plates are used with. Um, so I have like a couple different designs based on how they want it, right? And then the food also, what's gonna make the food pop. So I've really been working on that. And then table setting, um, I'm always working on placemats, chargers to go along with the plates, the napkins, fun looking napkins, to linens, to all different types of stuff, right? So I just want to make sure if you're paying $265, $285, $315 a person, like you want everything to look absolutely spectacular. So that's why I kind of say it's a mobile restaurant because we're trying to turn your kitchen, your where you're eating at into a restaurant. Invest in training, development. I'm always trying to expose myself to different things. I use whenever I go out to eat as research and development. What y'all out here doing? I love to go to these places. Every time we go somewhere, we try to go highbrow, lowbrow. So we try to find somewhere for some home cooking, some local favorite, all the way up to um, James Beard type places, well renowned places. Like every time we go out to eat, we try to do something like that. And I always use that research development. I always talking to people, watching cooking shows, reading cookbooks, all that stuff. Pricing strategy: review and adjust prices to ensure competitiveness while maintaining profitability. I just went through and I did a whole pricing analyzation a couple of weeks ago. To again getting rid of everything, go to the chef firm. I'm gonna go back through it one more time. Basically, after going through this, where pricing really needs to be. Consider tier pricing or special discounts to attract more clients to lower performing services. So we're already on a tier system. Um, the By focusing on these areas, you can optimize your revenue streams and grow your private and personal chef company effectively. So again, after that, I asked, based on this information, build me a detailed marketing plan that includes social media, parentheses, um, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, email marketing, and blog. So it built me out a full marketing plan. Instagram content strategy, showcase services, post highly High quality images and videos of your top services, such as in-home, family, and three-course meals. Use before and after images of meal preparation. It has behind the scenes, client testimonials, chef spotlight. Feature your chefs, their stories, and their specialties. Engagement, interact stories, use generated content. Growth, collaborations, partner with influencers and food bloggers to reach a wider audience. Hashtag, use relevant hashtags, private, in-home dining, gourmet meals, etc. TikTok, quick recipe demos, day in the life, client reactions, challenges, engagements, duets and reactions, live cooking sessions. Host live cooking sessions, Q&A to interact with your audience in real time. I've actually been doing that. I've been doing it on Instagram. I haven't done it on TikTok. I've tried a couple of times on TikTok, but no one's really come in there. I've had some more engagement on Instagram. So sometimes while I've been cooking with, while I've been doing my in-home client, we'll like go work out during while I'm there cooking. I'll be on live sometimes, just talking about answering Q&A, talking about life. Um, Facebook content strategy, event promotions, long form content, groups, engagement, growth. Gave me something for threads, email marketing, monthly newsletter, exclusive offers, event invitation. So email marketing. So what I've actually done is, I'm a big fan of Gary Vee. So again, ChatGPT, I've gone over here and I've asked them create me a, see if I can find it so I can tell you exactly what I put in. Is it this one? No. Where is it? I'm gonna find it just. Oh man, it's somewhere in there. It may be under another. Cause usually in Chat GPT over to the left, it will keep the name of it. It builds a name for it. So whatever it wants to name it. Um. So it's whatever it wants to name it. So I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. What did I put? All right. So I put write out a monthly email plan for a year for a personal chef. Email should follow jab, 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 right hook, book by Gary Vaynerchuk. Language should be funny, educational, witty, motivational, relatable, and engaging. In the voice of Chef St. Eric. And he gave me this full plan. It literally full plan for 12 months. Then I came down again and said, use the same strategy starting June 2024. Write out 2-year email marketing plan. And he gave me April 25th, jab. Brunch like a boss. Elevate your brunch game with these crowd pleasing recipes. Mimosas anyone? May 25th. This is the hook. Host a perfect summer barbecue. Special offering on my catering services to make your summer parties unforgettable. So why did I use Gary V's jab, 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 right hook? He took this from he took this from boxing, right? Jab, 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 right hook type thing. He took it from that as setting up someone, right? So not setting up someone, but setting up how to sell to someone, right? Because you don't go in just with an offer, right? If you sell a pen, you know the whole pen analogy. Sell me this pen. So I've done a lot of sales jobs, right? I've had a couple sales jobs, and if someone is coming to you to buy, it's one thing than you going to sell to them. Selling is a entire different thing, right? When you selling someone, you got to show them how you can help them. How is this going to enhance your life? You spending this money is going to enhance you. How can I enhance your something? If you selling something, you got to show me what it is. If you want me to buy it, right? So you give them stuff. Let me give you, so he does jab, 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 right hook. I'm going to give you 3 different things. Here's some free information. Boom. Here's this. Boom. Ooh, let me show you what I'm doing. Let me show you what it is. Boom. Here's something else. And then I come through the right hook. That's a knockout punch. Boom. Hey, I'm going to give you something and I'm selling you something at the same time. So boom, the barbecue. Let me show you how great this barbecue is. We talking about barbecue? Now let me show you the type of barbecue I do. And you also can get the service if you want to. You know you want to have a barbecue this summer. You know you want to have a barbecue Memorial Day. And you want a good barbecue too. Come on, let your boy come and do it for you. You feel me? But people don't think about stuff like that. They just think, oh my God, you can come in and do that for me? Yeah. That goes into the chef services. All right. So hope I'm not rambling. So then I came down. So this is where I love ChatGPT. Because when you start asking questions based on the numbers and services provided, how can this business be scaled to a 250K per year business? Then a 500K per year business, then to a 1 mil a year. To scale your private personal chef business to achieve 250K, 500K, and eventually 1 million in annual revenue, you will need to implement a combination of strategies focused on increasing sales, optimizing operations, expanding your market, and possibly diversifying your offers. Here's a step-by-step approach to scaling your business. And I have a complete scale: 250K, 500K, a bill. Maximize current service revenues, marketing and client acquisition, operational efficiency. Yeah. Increase geographic reach, customer retention, diversify and innovate, national and international reach. Full plan, action plan, step by step. Hey, don't sleep on ChatGPT, man. Don't sleep on ChatGPT. That was pretty cool to be able to have a nice business meeting with them. I ask ChatGPT stuff all the time. And then once you tell it to act like something, so what I've learned is prompts is tell it to act like something first. Whatever you want it to ask, tell it to act like it's the utmost professional. Whatever professional title that you can think of, tell it to act like that. Ask your question. And then tell them, and then the last one part, you tell them how you want it to deliver it to you, right? Because if you just ask a question, it's going to deliver however it wants to deliver it. But if you tell it to put it out into a 10-point bullet plan, put it out to a bullet plan, give me 100 points, do something for 2 years over a month, give me a full breakdown in a graph or a chart, it's going to do it. And it's going to put it out exactly how you want to. Then you can take the information, paste it somewhere else, and build off of it from there. Boom. You already got your template to keep on going. And once you go through it, now you know what you need to add, subtract, and all that type of stuff. But you already got a template that's already there. Use stuff to your advantage. Work smarter, not harder. Amen. Amen. But thank you for coming to the meeting with me. Overall it's time to take this thing to the next level. I gotta figure out what the next level really is. I have to find a way to be able to fully pay myself yearly without feeling that I have to hustle sometimes, right? Because this is a great way to actually break things down, to see what actual business I have, to build a business off of it instead of feeling like I'm hustling in each area. Then I got to find a way to multiply it. So we're going to write this down. how to build self um self-sustaining business, then how to multiply it. And that's basically what that plan was with the going from 250K to half a mil to a mil. It was build the business that is sustainable, that it can run completely by itself. And then you can multiply it. Build the foundation, you can build everything on top of it. So I appreciate y'all coming to the meeting with me. It's been a great meeting. Great meeting, y'all. Um, for me, from being coming from corporate world and being over like different departments and things like that, I had to learn. I've coming to learn, and I knew I need to do this, but I could do whatever. I have to break things out into how I would have in the corporate world. You would have had a finance department, operation department, transportation department, HR, like all that type stuff. And then have those meetings. Look at it. I just turned right to it. I was flipping down no, but I just returned right to it. So I've broken it out into a department. So I have finance that goes over P&L, savings, net worth, taxes, HR. That's all, everything that goes in with the crew who works with me. Legal things, insurances, education, mental health. Mental health goes into human resources. You feel me? Transportation. So that's my vehicle, how we get around. If I got a rental vehicle, how we get around to different things. Maintenance, IT. Maintenance is the equipment, my body, my laptop, my filming equipment, everything that goes into making this thing move physically. IT, marketing department. I have my PR manager in there. Social media, YouTube, blog, newsletter, events, organizations, past clients, housekeeping. We had a housekeeping department, uniforms, my chef shirts. What am I wearing? I mean, being a private chef, like, so what I've done, a lot of private chefs, they dress however they want to, right? Everyone dress however they want to. I've seen some who go in the house swaggy every day. I'm working, I'm cooking multiple times a day. I can't really do swaggy. So what I did was I got a nice chef coat. I got like 4 of them. It got my name on it, and it has private chef under it. And it's also marketing because when I'm out and about, because I'm out and about every single day, I'm getting something to drink. I'm getting some smoothies. I'm inside of grocery stores. I'm in places having meetings, coffee shops and stuff. So if I'm doing that and people see private chef, they talk to me. They ask questions. I give them a card. So I use that as like a little marketing thing. So I have a uniform. And I have a kind of look that I do. Sometimes I do blue jeans. Most times I do Dickies. I have different colored Dickies, so it gives me a different type of swag every type of day. Like, at least I feel like I'm changing it up, right? So what's your look? How are you dressing? You got to have that. That goes into housekeeping, uniforms, stuff clean. Operations, all the systems, platforms I use, inventory of all my plates and silverware and stuff. I mean, I got sets where I can do a set up to 20. Well, I don't have to rent. I got different plates up to numbers 12. You got dinner plates, salad plates, dessert plates, different size plates, silverware. So I got a lot of equipment and it's like inventory. So I had to break the stuff out into departments for me to make this thing work. I got to go through each department. So I used to have department meetings, right? You'll have a finance meeting day. You have a meeting with certain operation over here. You have a meeting with these days. So I go through, so it's not a boggling. Each day I have kind of like a little meeting, kind of go through how assess everything, how everything's going. Yeah. That's just what I have to do for me. I gotta create checklists. I gotta get better at checklists, to-do lists, checklists. Um, in corporate world, I lived off those, lived off checklists. So I know I need to go back through checklists. Um, Again, I had a meeting with PR manager, Ebony, Emerald Career Consulting. Great, great person. She's revamped my resume for me. Um, we did a CV together. A lot of times when you're applying for jobs, they want CVs. So it's pretty much a resume with like a picture of yourself with some quick information, and then a little portfolio of your food and stuff. Um, the meeting with I had the guy out of Chicago. I picked his brain. I had to pay for it. He charged $100 an hour. Hey, I respect it. You know, some people always hit you up. Hey, can I pick your brain? Can I tell you for coffee and stuff like that? I mean, it's all cool, fine, dandy sometimes, but you know, I've even gotten to the point where I was considered charging people for it, and not on some career coaching stuff, but just think about if I want to have this meeting with someone. I'm at 2 hours. I just hit 2 hours. Someone's time to help me with ChatGPT did, which all I had to do was go through, kind of analyze some stuff, ask some more questions. I think I spent 30 minutes just kind of going through stuff, asking questions. And I got all that information, which going to lead to some more meetings like I have with myself to really knock stuff out. Think about what it pays someone. My business coach, she gives me 90 minutes for 250. So when I go have a meeting with her, I'm coming to her with a couple of different things. Because we can talk through some stuff. You know, these are some real things, like help me out because you've been here before, you've done this before. If you're gonna get a business coach, make sure they've done what they're talking about. Coaching has become the new Forex. There's people out there that are gonna tell you how to make $1 million, and they've never made $1 million before in their life. There's gonna people who are gonna tell you how to do stuff, and who's gonna give you different ebooks and templates and stuff, and all they did was go copy that thing off of Etsy and resold it to you for $1,500. So be careful of your business coach. Make sure it's someone who knows exactly what they're doing and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, I paid this chef out of Chicago. He does this business. I follow him on Instagram. He does amazing food. He's worked in Michelin kitchens before. His food is impeccable, but he's doing stuff on a bigger scale out there. So I paid $100 for the hour, and I picked his brain, and it was rewarding because he was very proud of things I've already done, because I'm doing some things that he's not even done, that he's considered, but he hadn't considered because he hasn't known how to do it, and some things I've already done. And so it was like a iron sharpened iron type thing. You know, I was asking him some real in-depth questions about things. He had to kind of think about stuff. He was like, man, that doesn't make sense. And then I was telling him kind of stuff I did. So we was putting things together, right? And I didn't mind. It was little, when I first did it, I was kind of like, oh my God, like I wasted my time. But then I had to think about it like, okay, I got some things out of that. And I gave him some things. And now we're on a much more respectful. And so now I just built a great relationship with someone, right? Who now, if anything comes up, because now he knows, I'm not just someone who's just calling to get some stuff. Like, we had a real business conversation, and now he may offer me something for free because, now it's something else. Or if he need a job, he can call me. Like, he knows I'm serious about this, right? So yeah, so I got to go through all this. I'm gonna go through all this stuff here, and we're gonna see where this takes us. This YouTube channel, again, I tell you y'all all the time, God really placed this on my heart, and it's been difficult to do. I know I said this last episode also, but this vlogging, man, is so difficult to do. Doing this YouTube channel is so difficult to do because it requires vulnerability. It requires honest conversations. It requires accountability, understanding, actions. And I mean, the big boy, it requires consistency. And it's like, it requires a new level of Eric. And it's like being in a video game where it's like, okay, like you got to learn everything you got to learn. You got to collect everything you collect. You got to do everything you got to do on this level to get to the next level. And then when you get to the next level, you're going to have all these new skills, these new powers, and you're going to, so you still got to learn how to use them. You know what I mean? It's like being able to shoot fires at your hand, but it's all over the place. Like I think about X-Men when they was kids, like, or, you know, like when they talk about like these kids who have superpowers, and they got to learn how to use them. You know what I'm saying? Even like with Jesus, they were saying like Jesus was out there turning birds into dust. You know, like he was doing different things. Like he didn't understand his power. So you got to understand your power. You got to understand who you are, but you also gotta get these powers. You got to get what you need to get on this level. And it's like, it's discouraging because it's like, again, you only get a couple views and things like that. But at the same time, doing all those, what I need to do to vlog will require all these things I just named off, which makes me a better person, which makes me a better Eric, makes me better to my community, makes me better to Janasia, what makes me better to my family, my friends, the people who work with me, this business, you know, and then it makes me a better person. I can go on to the next level and live out the dreams and be ready for all the things that God has for me. You know, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. You know, I told you I listened to a lot of Eric Thomas, and his word for the year is forward. My word for the year is forward. I got to get better. Like I got to get better. I was texting my dad last week, and he was like, I asked him about discipline, because my dad, man, he was a very disciplined person. Um, Being a school teacher, I mean, he had to be up early. You know what I mean? School teacher, getting me ready for school. My mom was already going to work early morning, so you know he had to get me up. Then he was like, we had a acre and a half, lots of trees, big yard, so he was always taking care of the yard, cleaning the house, doing things around the house. And I never really heard him complain, but I always see him do things. But it wasn't like you know, a load of laundry is piled up and you like two baskets in, but you need to fold them. No, it was like he may do two loads, and while one load is doing, he's folding, he's dusting, the yard is clean, the cars are washed. You know, he's doing the things he had to do, his lesson plans, and doing the things for the teams that he coached. And it was just like, man, like he don't miss a beat. And he was always on me, get up, do this. And it was like, and I asked him, I said, man, what was it? And I'm gonna read it off to you. If you know my dad, this is my dad, Coach Nelly, man. So you get in, my dad is older, man. So you gotta think about how he says it. But let's see. I said, how do you do so well with discipline? He said, we discussed and if rules were broken. I think he thought I meant like at school and stuff. He was like, knew that if rules were broken, they knew that there would be consequences, good or bad. And I said, what about yourself? He said, at the time I was standing 6'2", 225. I had a big stick. He was talking about the actual manual stick, y'all. That was it. My way or highway. He said, I still walk with that stick every morning. And I said, what used to drive you to wake up early every morning, do everything you had to do at work, and then mow the grass, clean the house? Like, what about that discipline? He said, wanting to have something that as a family we could be proud of. For people judge you not for what you do, but what you have. Always take care of what is yours, and others will respect you for it. Self-motivation. So my dad was very big on the respect, and respect for yourself, because how you treat yourself, other people will treat you. He was very, very big on that. If you don't treat yourself right, the other people are not going to treat you right. If you don't treat your things well, every people are not going to treat your things well. He always used to give me the analogy of like if you take your car in for service, right? If your car is junky, if your car is beat up, they're going to treat it like a beat up junk car. But if your car is in impeccable shape and clean, they're going to make sure everything right because they know they can't miss a beat because you're going to call it out. Because if it's not looking the same way or running the same exact way or better than what you gave it to, then they already know something off and they don't want to get called off on it, right? So it's easier to like so if someone to come in with a junk car, broke up car, dusty car, and you fix something and you halfway fix it, they can easily say, "Oh well, it's this and that," because you know the car already. We just fixing what we can. We're just putting a band-aid on what needs duct tape. Instead of a car that's in impeccable shape, who may just need just one little piece fixed, they're gonna make sure that thing running right. They're gonna let you know if something else look like it's off. Like, think about that, right? So, this year's forward, I asked my dad about discipline, and I gotta get disciplined. I got discipline with my health, with my life. It's just time to grow up. It's time to grow up. And he told me one thing. He was like, you're my child. I'm always gonna be here to help you, no matter what. But he was like, remember, you're hours away from me. You're hours away from me. And if something happened, I can't get to you like I can. So you're on your own. And it reminded me, like, yeah, I'm like, no one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you when you set out on your life. You got to save yourself. Yeah, it may be some lifelines around here. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's a video game. It may be some health packs around here, but you got to find that health pack. You got to know where it's at. But at the end of the day, you're the one that got to get through it. Can't no one do anything for you. And on this entrepreneurship journey, man, like it's tough. All those things that I said that I need to get better on. Like those are just all of that just changing me personally, changed everything in my business also. And that's the crazy thing about entrepreneurship because it's a direct relationship to you as a person. Entrepreneurship is wild. This is probably the best. Besides raising a child, this is therapy. This is therapy. This is going to tell you all about yourself. But and then again, like I said, I can't get caught up in the no namesake and not being recognized and things like that. Like it's not about that. It's about doing what I have to do. The best thing I can do is generational wealth. Help change the foundation for the family that's coming behind me. Even if I don't have kids, like at least I can affect the community. And if I have a child, then I can help set them up for success. And even if I don't have a family, it's still about helping the community also because we got to help our people. One thing I've always done is every time I moved up, I'm always going to reach back. Anytime I move up, I'm going to help people out the best I can. My front desk at the hotel was 90% black. I never forget, I even got asked, they said, you know what, I remember it was a little side meeting. It wasn't even a meeting. We was all in a room doing something, training or something. And HR VP was in there. I was in there. Again, this is before DEI. This is before the we care about people of color. And this wasn't that long ago. This was less than a decade ago. It was like, Eric, don't you think you need? They tried to say in the most nicest way. They tried to say the most nicest way, but you can't bullshit a bullshitter. But I already know what you're talking about. It was like, don't you think you just need some color up there at the front desk? And I was like, "You, what you mean?" I think the uniform is very colorful. It bounces off the back. Like I like to look good, y'all. So I'll make sure we gonna look good up there. They kind of laughed, they chuckled, huh? But I thought, I was look. Are you gonna come back around again? Are you hitting at what I think you hitting at? You know what I mean. I think you just need some more color up there. You do a great job. You do a beautiful job making sure your front desk is uh, very well put together. You love a certain look up there. But don't you think it could use some color, some other nationalities? What you mean? We got African American up there. I had a young lady from Laos that was up there. I guess I got guys up here. And I got this up here, and it was like, well, and I knew exactly what they was. I knew exactly what they was talking about. And I knew exactly what they was talking about, right? Even like my housekeepers, I was trying to get them more money. But the thing is, with companies like that, right, is you have to show efficiency to deserve money. But I was very harping early on livable wages and then trying to show efficiency. I did a whole market analysis. We had one of the young ladies, one of the supervisors. We had her call around to each of the housekeeping services that's in the city for hotels to see what's everyone making, so we know what we're up against. I did a whole analysis report to report to them. I fought for months trying to get raises for our housekeeping department from the manager on down to the houseman to the housekeepers to deep cleaners. I was trying to get everyone paid. I'm always going to reach back for our people. Any job I've ever had, I'm going to reach back. So that's my contribution to generational wealth. I'm always going to do that because other people help their communities. We got to help ours too. But I'm not going to hold y'all, man. If you listen to this long, I appreciate you. You know what? If you've listened this long, I'm going to do this. If you have listened this long, I'm going to do a chef 20%. If you email me or hit my contact page on my website and you put in chef 20, put a percentage in there, I'm gonna give you 20% off of service. I'm gonna give you 20. I'm gonna give you 20% off of service. And depending on how generous it may be more, but it'll be no less than 20%. But if you listen to this, and send me that, we'll work something out. We'll do 20% off or more of a service of your choice. And hey, we'll get it popping because I appreciate you. But again, this is your boy, Chef St. Eric, Chef Eric. Follow me on all social medias under Chef St. Eric, man. Let me know if you like this style of content. I'm just gonna have some videos up playing, some stuff going on. So if you like this business meeting that I have, man, let me know. Talk to your boy. Holler at your boy. All right. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. God bless.